Now we are live on YouTube. Okay. So you can allow the audience come in.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe do
Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. Just letting you guys know that this program is being live streamed and videotaped. Your image and name can be visible. You're welcome to turn off the video camera on your side and change your screen name to protect your privacy.
Thank you, Vicky. Hello, everybody. I'm Henry Lee. Welcome back to our Fusion Watercolor class, lesson 9. Today is a special day. Let me share with you another event that we are monitoring. This is the second hatching of the same hummingbird's mother in this spring. So I'm going to put this in the background to just keep watching while we paint. Okay, if that works with you. You can see that behind me is the hummingbird mother, Flora. This is the 14th day of the incubation, so we're expecting any time from now to maybe tomorrow to see the first nestling breaking through the shell. So today we're going to study month 7 or July. In lunar calendar is the 6 months, right? 6 months. So this year is known as the month of Lotus. The 6th month of lunar calendar, or the 7th month, the July. So we are going to paint Lotus with a tiger. I was thinking about the symbolism of Lotus. I already shared with you in the previous class. If you've taken the flower and birds painting before, you probably recall that Lotus is a symbol of peace, because the pronunciation 和 meaning peace or harmony. To add a tiger, what does that mean? Tiger pronounces 虎, so 护和 or 呵护 means a peacekeeper, or peace guide, right? Peacekeeping. So you have to take care of peace. Take care of 呵护 means Lotus and the tiger to take care of. So I think that's the symbolism. In Chinese decorative art, we always have some auspicious symbolism. It's unique in world culture compared to the geometric design, decorative art in Islam culture, or the simplified natural symbols in Egyptian or Asian Egyptian culture. The Chinese has developed this symbolism 1,000 years ago to decorate their homes and utensils and etc. So this is highly symbolic art. So don't ask me why the tiger swimming in a pond of lotus. Monet is not going to paint this, right? but who knows? I did have a photo reference. My brother took one day in a Lotus pond with a tiger cat sleeping on a piece of rock next to a lotus, above the lotus actually. That was actually the inspiration, one of the inspirational source I had. But anyway, it would be considered as an abstract, or composite art, decorative art. So the painting was done on, original painting was done on this kind of paper. So I'm going to do the Western painting in Eastern style today, as we call it, fusion style. So this is the arches rough. It's one kind of
okay.
right. Yeah, let me see. You can type in questions, and then you can read to me. I'll mute everybody, so we let me see. I will mute all except can you I'm co-host, right? So yeah, okay, good. So I'm still heard, right? All right. So Arch's rough paper was what I use. It could be PET or in this case it's black. So this is what and the size is actually you see this is about the same size as the calendar, right? So what I do is I just mark it. I can paint a little wider, but I just let the editor or the designer, printing designer to have a little
Henry, we can't hear you.
Okay, I was muted.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, sorry. I muted myself when I mute everybody. Sorry. I was talking about the size of the paper. It was 16 by 16 by 12. That's the original size, and I just marked it because the calendar is a square. But you can have some extra. You can paint the original size, and you can trim it or frame it later. Okay. And I just put a pencil mark there, and then we do a little bit planning as to where to put the flowers, etc. So we have a main flower here. You want to have a silhouette drawing, maybe everything should not be symmetrical. Okay, so you need to make some petals falling, some going up, some combined shapes. So this is a big one. It's foreshortened. It's like close to the camera, or viewer. And then here are some. So here's a group of flowers. So you don't have to really define each individual flowers, and I'm more concerned with the outer shape of the contour line. There's a flower behind. Asymmetrical is the principle. Okay, so you want to have some depths. Okay, so I combine maybe 3 flowers. I don't have to really have to distinguish, but I try to make a identity of the lotus with this pointed petal tips. So this group is secondary important actually. This man, this but it's farther from the camera or the viewer, so it gets smaller. Again, I don't have to draw each individual leaf, but the general size of the shape and the location. Just map out the location. This is where we want to keep the white. You can use, I didn't use any masking fluid in this case because the shape is so big. You can just skip on some part. I did recover with gouache. It's not a good option, but I tried this time not to use gouache, just to save those white. But they shouldn't be pure white, so we'll do the light with yellow maybe to start with. And then this is the horizon or the eye level line. The horizon should be above the frame. So there's some leaves from a skyline or something. And then some flowers dotted the. So they're kind of umbrellas, but you don't have to identify each because in the distance they tend to merge together to form just a irregular shape. The size of the leaves. I don't have any leaves, which is actually very. If you do the leaves, it will be very large. So in this painting, I try to omit those shapes, only the color. So yeah, that and the branches. I mean those lines, the stems of the flower. You might create some carefully plan the crossing angle. I try to avoid that X here actually. Yeah, you can change those to make it more interesting or more beautiful according to your own judgment. And this shape may be changed later, but something like that. I try not to make a right, just an X. So somehow try to avoid that. That's about it. Oh, the tiger. We just do the head, a small profile. The eye nose is white. Okay, the eye should be very. It's in the shade against the light, so we don't have to do the details. Just like the back, the waterline with some wake. So to keep it small, I think this might be lower. The tiger could be even more blurry or something. Just something like that. And some you have to keep a little white there. Okay. So I will I'm thinking to maybe I do have the masking fluid, so you can if you have, you can put in those shapes to protect the white. Let's do this. I'll use water to create some I just wash the background with clean water, and we don't have to save anything here because even though this is light yellow, it's not going to be white. Just a little bit white in the face of the tiger. Maybe. So we wet everything except the white, and then we'll just let the paints flow, kind of. Okay, so I wet the whole thing here, especially here. And then I kind of avoid negative paint, wet the shape of those petals a little bit. So this left dry. The rest is clean water. And the background is wet. Okay, so I just leave the flower positively with you can have some water here. You just kind of splatter or some. You can scratch a little bit. Maybe just don't have to create a perfect shape in this area, I think. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, this brush is not very clean. Got some ink in it. It's not good. So I use this this brush for background painting, and we can start with transparent color wash. The color would be, I try to create some environment color that will hide the tiger. So let's start with some oranges on the in the sky. This could be a sunset or sunrise in the morning. I should spread this color maybe a little bit more from the. This is the brand. It's called Cool. Let me just show you. Okay. This is the basic set, I think, here. Okay. You can use other brand, Winsor Newton or something. Okay, this is what is this? They have different names. Because the reason I use this is the color, the pigment is more. Let's see, this ochre color. It's very vibrant, and they said it's not going to fade as traditional watercolor. Let's see. And try to get some oranges. The warm kind of gold, pure gold. That's not oranges. We can just mix the red, pyro scarlet. Permanent scarlet. This is permanent. I got those. I just mix yellow. I can mix yellow and the red to get oranges for the dramatic sky. I'm trying to get. I don't know what color is this. Let's see. Diary Lady. What is this? Oh, here. I think it's like the Cardian yellow deep or something like that. But they have special names called the Diary Light Yellow. Anyway, so I'll just use those plus some reds, and then use I should clean this palette anyway. So you keep it pretty watery, just to wash the sky. You can go through all the tiger's body because it's the same color. Just go through the, and you can have a little more orange there. Maybe just put this burnt sienna. Oops, that's not what I want. I'd rather mix the bronze because I have more control of the hue. Okay, you don't have to make the hard lines there, but some white, bits of white is preferred there, and then you get more hard lines under the near the front. Right? So I just do a orange wash overall. How about that? You can just wash the whole thing, I think. Near the sun, I imagine in this area, maybe the middle, I'll put some, just leave some very pale yellow. So I just add some lemon there. And then just bring it down all the way. So a little bit cooler here in the center, and then so this side is warmer. I try to confuse to create some camouflage for the tiger to blend in there. So what about here? I just kind of paint the white with very light yellow. Mix colors right on the palette. Just okay. I try to balance that color, not just the. So that's a concentration. I try to disperse a little bit here and there, and maybe a little here. You can have some Q gold. I just call it Q gold. Connect or I can't pronounce that word. Okay, and we'll have lots of greens, right? So you can just put this golden color as base. Okay, I start to color the light petals. Here there are already some yellow. That's actually good. Okay, so only this maybe, and then here a little pure white we need. Even the white, the light should have some yellow, warm color in it from the light source. So it shouldn't be too pure. The light, I imagine, is from the back, so there's a rim of light. That's pure white. A little bit. You can blot it if you want to recover a little bit. That's one way to make it a soft, some soft edges. Just recover those areas. Okay. This is so far very light. Okay, and there's some kind of like I will say the reflection of the leaf, you can do it wet into wet. I just clean this palette. Got some blue, so make it into the green, and you can add just a little bit of pure color on the tip of the brush to kind of cutting the shape a little bit, maybe here, this area. So I try to play with the three primaries. We got blue and the red. Basically, we'll have more pink later. Now I'm playing with blues. Okay, you can have viridian. Viridian is a opaque green color. You can have a little thicker than the first layer if you want to avoid that kind of blossom. That's what they call it. Now you can wait a little bit because when it's sheen, it has the fall. It's hard to add, right? But sometimes I like it. I like the blossom, so I just do it wet into wet. And you can just squeeze the brush to create a point effects. A lot of blossom coming up. I was hoping that you can have more like a hard edge. We talked about the on cold press. You want to have this stain or puddle lines. Right? That could be done on dry paper. So you need to dry this layer. If you don't want any soft margin like this, you can simply wait and or dry it. Okay, in Eastern painting, we emphasize on the flowing energy. We call it qi. So that's the movement of the color or air. It's better to paint without the brush, sometimes to get the atmosphere energy flow across the page. And the mist in this painting is has no shape, but is in the moisture of the strokes. So you try to indicate it's a maybe early morning sunrise. So you can have an angle to control the flow like this. A little bit. You can hold the paper. If you have a board, it would be nice. So it would kind of drip down, create a sense of gravity. Some beading here. You can control that so they're not enter the area you protect. Okay, and some more sky color, but at this time I think not much blue is needed. Just a hint of maybe it's enough. Dry brush is not needed at this point, actually. Let me just get some brown here just for balance the upper corner. Oops. or red even. Oops, that's a little bit too strong, but as long as the color is fresh, looks good, that's good. I will define what it is later. I just want to create some rainbow color effect here. Okay, some color in between the flowers. You can start to consider. So the value of your paint is very important. So the strong contrast in the front, you're getting less saturation in the back, and you should have a little more blue, like the swimming pool syndrome, the phenomena. In the distance, you add the swimming pool color into whatever the local color is. So it created the sense of area perspective, atmospheric perspective. Okay, here I try to do it too when it's drier, so I can have some hard edge. But we can start to do that with if you have thick enough paints, you can do it. I'll just roll the brush a little bit. And you can leave bits of light in between the strokes that create a nice backlit effect. I'll just use some yellow left over there to make it more orange. Some misty effect there. So near the focal point, a little bit more definition. Other part, just the soft washes. Try not to blend too much. If you blend more than 3 times, it will become muddy. So try to do it within 4 takes, 4 layers maybe. So I'll just do some little warmer near the tiger again. Oops. You can vary each stroke with in terms of warm and cool. I'll handle that tiger part later. We need a little bit strong contrast here, and we can do that with different temperature of instead of dark and light contrast, you can use green and red contrast. So more green, maybe a little bit, to separate the background from the petals. Shady color here. Don't worry about the stems, unless there's some like direct sun hit. You could have some white lines, exposed in the sunshine. But basically, it's under the umbrella of the flower, the leaves. So it could be darker. It should be darker, right? And this area should be a little cooler. generally speaking. I don't want to paint too much negative details, but if you see something nice, you can save it. And you can have some purple color in the shade also under the flowers. Maybe try not to leave it fresh is the more important thing. Okay, this part maybe I need to block it a little, just leave a little more white. Now we have this I think magenta. I will use a very modern color called Opera. It's only available in Holbein, with Holbein. It's called the Opera Quinacridone Opera. It's the full name. It's a Japanese brand, Holbein. You know that. W213 is the number. You can get from Amazon, I think. So I just put here. In addition to the cool color, I'm using this. Let's see, and you can see how strong that color is. It just shines. Okay, it has iridescent, metallic iridescent pigments in it. I think it's pretty strong. I can mute a little bit with the other colors. It's too wet. You can just grind it with dry brush on damp or wet. Try to avoid bleeding. Okay, here's the main flower. I need to take a shot with this color. Let's see. The inside of the petal is lighter, so we just do the outer part with this color. You can see I'm using Chinese concept for like calligraphy strokes. And for this, you can just do the tip. If you need definition, you have to wait for it to dry a little bit more. Otherwise, you will bleed. A little pure color. If you use like a very dry, thick color, you won't bleed on this. Try not to paint symmetrical flower. Okay, I need to do a petal that's hide the center area. Petal is in the front. Try to combine different shapes. Okay. Okay. Cannot really copy even myself, so don't just concentrate on your own painting. Try to adapt to your painting to the situation. You have to make decisions. If there's something good you want to keep, you can.
Henry, someone asked, how many petals does a lotus have?
This is multiple layered. I think I don't really count. It's a landscape painting, so you just as long as it idea complete, you can leave out absent of petals or strokes. Okay, so concentrate on the silhouette. Don't do the. You see, I don't count them here. You can separate each, right? But I try not to depict every petal just like in flower and birds painting. Here I try to paint the impression of the whole shape. Like here, I don't even know how many flowers there, but I try to convey the depths, like the two layers. Maybe one layer is in the front of the other. This is behind. So by vary the saturation, the value, to try to indicate the depths. I think that's more important. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Good question. I never tried to count them myself. Maybe you can start with 5 or 6, and then if not enough, you can add up to 7 or 8. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. It's probably 10 here. I think the best is don't count it and let your viewer do that. Maybe. So I don't have any number for that. Some part, if it's I have the pencil mark complete. In watercolor, pencil line counts, so you don't have to do the outline. Okay. You can put a little accent carefully on the tip. So actually I'm very careful with this upper color. Try not to abuse that in the sample painting like I did for the I think it could be better every time I do it. That's why repeating is very important in artistic creation, because you need to refine each time, and because the energy every time is different. With you guys, I cannot do it on my own with the same kind of energy. So I'm looking constantly on the whole painting to try to find grouping and balance of so by comparison which one is more important focal point, some is more secondary, right? So here is another defined flower in the design. I try to make here. It should be smaller than this one and maybe a little larger than that, right? Or a little detail. So we can have yeah, they tend to kind of open when they going from a bowl shape, going just like peony also does this, right? So the center is more it's like a lot of small petals, I think. So it's not really, maybe the outer petal is larger. The larger ones can be counted, but you cannot really count those in the middle. Okay, I tried to avoid doing every petal. I just to suggest the the shape of the flower, but not symmetrically with this accent strokes, these darks. Okay. And here, the petals in the front is pink, and then you see the inside of the other side of the bowl, and so this is the far side. So yeah, that's the more important than how many petals. So try to make that. So this is in the front, right? These three, and they combine with neighboring flowers, so you don't have to separate them. Okay, you can also make a little connection. Try to combine shapes whenever possible. Okay, I can add another flower here. It looks like it could be a half a flower. You can turn it into, look at the picture leaves. So it could be just a partial flower behind the leaf. Just then we can make really dark leaves here. Let's see. I got some black. I got purple, yellow, and red together. It's black. Then I have to add some green, blue to make it a little. This area actually should be a little bit stronger. I can do a little bit shady here. It's a little bit dirty, so we can add a little pure color. It's getting muddy. Careful. It's a little bit warm there. Okay. Let me create some lines that will kind of structure it, and you can see the rhythm better. But that will be dark. Yes. I'll just put a little bit shades first. bit at the back. But yeah. Okay, let's do the what color it would be. I put dark purple, but it could be neutral tint or in Chinese painting we use ink, but in this painting I stay away from that. So maybe just dark brown color. And some part is more bluish. Let's just say like that. Does it work? So this is in the shade. It's more like that. If it's too wet, you can wait a little bit. Just do some part that's dry. Okay, let me add a line there. And you can have some lost and found lines, and by also vary the hue. So some exposed in the sunshine is warmer. That's make an illusion of light. Try to avoid parallels. So there's another line. Just add that. And we also vary the length. Oops, that's okay. A little bit like that, and then a little spot, something like that. Alright, so these are all accidental. I just try to take the opportunity of some happy accident here and there. So this part, I already have the diagonals, and just needed to have a line like that. Diagonal is good, not always straight, right? To lead the eye to the focal point, you can create some directional lines going up, something like that. This could be a little stronger. What about something like details under the flower here? It could be a little bit texture. Okay. The distance we need to add more blue in it. It's lighter for the stems. It should be same color, not much. It could be a little darker if it's in shade, but I probably have to add back some leaf color there. So this stems, you can see through the stems the holes of water reflecting the light. And I'm more concerned with the pattern of these lines. So the rhythm, this is what we call the rhythm, the length and the angle. Try to hold them together, create some pillows, like a structure. Okay, that's probably over. If we do something wrong, you know that it just block the qi flow. and there's logic like anyway, like this looks like it's the surface, the tops of the leaf. So this stem is like the should be under it, so it should be more here maybe. But anyway, just be aware of those logics. Okay. And you can add a little more of those leaf color. Okay, be careful with the darkness, and should be lighter than the front. Okay, more blue, more sky, more a little bit air color. That's what it makes. The mist. Okay. Definition of that. In the sample painting, I had it on the dry surface, so it creates those edges. Instead of painting them, it just the stain, the watercolor works for you. If there's like a stain mark, just but yeah, I can just paint in as if there's some underside, like a shadow or something. Try to create a sense of light. The less is more. Okay, maybe another petal. I'm just imagining. Test it. If you like it, you can confirm it's a little stronger color. So the logic of how many petals really doesn't matter. I think I'm more concerned with the aesthetics. Does it look like it? And you can add a little bit detail in the center as the yellow kind of stamen. A little bit red, maybe. Oh, there's a little Lotus pot in light green usually, but we don't really have to do all this. Just a little orange color in the center. I think that's what I try to do here. Lots of stamen actually in the center. Just the color. Just the color we need. Now you can have a little green center there. Maybe this one is white open, so you can have some green lotus pot, young seeds. Let me use a different brush. It will be lemon as the base, and then with a little bit, maybe a little turquoise or like just make a tender green color for the center area. A hint of green makes the pink looks more tender. So it's a combination, optical combination of the color that create the illusion of light and the details. I didn't really worry about each individual stroke represent what, but it's just the impression of the color. It's a play of color. Okay, you can make some part a little cooler with some blue, maybe a little bit. When you try to change, add a different tone or different value, different temperature, it will create some interesting contrast. Not much detail on in the distance. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna dot the distant flowers with a very light pink. And you can mute it a little bit with some crimson, maybe, but very diluted. Let me see. I could just make it a bud here, a little half bloom. It could be a little upper there, upper in the light. And just be very bold sometimes. Okay, I just painted the shadow of the petals there. And then if you want to cover those, you can use the gouache, acrylic. Someone asked about this brand. Is what is this? Acryla, not acrylic. Acryla, L-A. Acryla gouache made by Holbein. The same brand of this opera color I'm using. So I just add this to the opera to make it a little opaque. Just put on the brush. This, when it's dry, because it's acrylic, you cannot reuse it. So I just usually just use it directly on the from the tube, and you have to clean it. It's acrylic. Don't let it dry on the palette. It's hard to clean maybe. So you can put this like that. You can cover, now you can cover those colors here. You can add these the distance. Again, the rhythm is very important. So vary the numbers. And some very close. Okay, the dark, some dark in the dark. You can have some like falling petals in the air. You can splatter, but I just maybe drop leaf in the place I want. Just maybe should be a bigger petal. Like a falling petal. I think this maybe not needed. Don't make it too complicated. Okay, and now you can stand or look in distance, or I'm checking it on the video screen so I can see a small image.
Henry?
Yeah.
Someone says, why mix opera with acrylic white to make light pink? Can you just dilute the opera?
Oh yeah, you can because I try to cover the greens here. That's
it says, what effect differences are you trying to?
I'm using this opaque pink to cut to on top of the. If I dilute it, you cannot add to the green color here. That's the reason I use a little opaque to paint on top of the green, so you can cover those dark, medium colors with this light pink. The watery color, you can add water in this area, which is it was white, right? On white paper, no problem, but on dark, but on the especially on the leaves, and unless you save those dots with what do you call the masking fluid, then you can just put in transparent colors. Like here I saved a little bit for the tiger face. I'm gonna do the tiger now before I forgot. Okay, I'm using a smaller brush. The tiger is orange colors, so we just using this warm yellow with a little red. Okay, to make it well, that's pretty red. Okay, let me add a little bit brown, maybe to, or you can just add ultramarine. That's brown. Okay, I'll do this shoulder. It's pretty too dark. We should do the light color first, and then we just add this color stripe. What's that? Okay, so we just one single straw, and that's it. You can use dry what do you call the pressing lifting technique. You get the gradation. Even with a single color, you can create the variation or gradation that way, and then you can go back to add, accentuate some part. You can use the darker colors to make up. So this neck is a little like that, and then the ears the 2 ears are kind of overlapped. So this front one is white, and we just paint one behind with some yellow. Oops, that's a little tall, but anyway, I just save a little white for the inner side of the left ear, maybe. Okay, the face is a little bit more yellow, some orange, pure, it's tender maybe. So I'll just do, the eyebrow should be a little white. That's, I forgot. Let me just use a paper tissue to cover, to recover that. The nose and the forehead. Okay, now the facial. There's a white man, or lip, mouth, a beard, something is more whitish. So I just let it blend into some white here. It's better to paint the river, the water a little bit darker, so it will show the white. So we'll just paint a little bit under the chin. Okay, dry stroke to create the shining, the reflective water surface. And you can do some water reflection of the tiger with same color of the body, just a little darker or lighter. I think it may be lighter in this case. Leave some white, light, not white, because we already got this yellows behind. So that's the wake. You can have a little darker near the body, maybe. The wake goes behind. Okay. So I just add a little dark stripes. You can add a little purple to the orange, it will make it black. And just a few stripes, not too many, I think. Wet into wet. Dry brushing. And the hip is a little higher, maybe a little peak there. I'm not sure about the tiger's anatomy, but it should be something like that, right, for the hip. I just try to create the impression, and then some forehead pattern, some underneath the eye. We don't need to do the eye, but you can draw a kind of a darker line, indicate that, and leave a little white eyebrow above it, and some stripes behind that line, something like that. I really don't do the mouth. Maybe a little bit red lip or something, or tongue, whatever. A little bit hint. Does it look like, or the ring of the ear could be a little darker. Okay, just and that white inside the ear, maybe too white, I realize. It could be a little yellow inside, just a little bit of highlight in this one. Okay, you can accent a little bit some of the tips on the little detail to finish. Just accenting this opera and the dark pink maybe if needed. So this should be softer. This is more stronger here in the front. So I left in this version. I left a lot of white and painted. I wish to convey the idea of voids better than the previous overworked, maybe a little overworked version. But they like the colors to be more green because I did a lot of green in the project. Now I concentrate on the flowers, maybe a little more with not much detail, like counting the petals, but to emphasize more on the lighting of the watercolor paper, the shade and the light and shade. So cool and warm, maybe just a little bit dark shade to finish. Try not to overwork. If you see it muddy, because if you keep working too many times, the color will lose the freshness in watercolor. Okay, let me see what time we have. Okay, we have plenty of time today. How's it going there? This yellow, the white is too cool, so you want to add a little bit warm color. Just the most maybe the direct sun hit part is white. All the other part should be a little bit orangey or yellow. Not snow white, definitely, but very light, very light. You can still paint the light if glaze the light. Yeah. With a little bit very transparent colors to harmonize. I think it looks like white, but there's color in there. So I'm pretty happy so far. I'm going to stop. And if you want, we can try to paint a Chinese painting on rice paper if you want, or I can look at your painting and try to help you guys with the critique. I got 37 chats there. We can take advantage of the good opportunities of acrylic. Yeah, you can paint acrylic, like I use acrylic gouache. You can use acrylic also if you want to make further changes. I usually paint the watercolor first, and if I need, I can go for acrylic, the heavy body, the golden acrylic with almost like oil. Yeah. You can dilute it though. I don't use acrylic liquid. You can, yeah. I use acrylic liquid only on rice paper because it takes a lot of moisture. And okay, so to sum up, those lines really serve the function to hold the painting together. directional line is like this linear perspective or pattern that kind of make those marks into leaves or flowers, have to make them stand up in the painting. So this vertical lines are very important. Okay. I start to play with some hue temperatures here. I see this could be a little bluer to make this flower more pop. Well, I like this kind of soft, so I don't really want to define everything. So if this soft edge I like, I just keep it. Some vertical lines suggesting the water reflection. I should have it dripping like that, but you can paint it in. Oh, you can paint a little fish if you want, just tiny dots. Like if people come to look at very closely, they will discover something. Then you need to just like a reward for the exploration. So I just put maybe a little red fish, young baby fish, kind of.
Henry, somebody asked if the stems are black or dark brown.
The stems are brown, with some part is more red, brown. Some is more blue. So you can get that by combining brown, a darker brown, with either purple or ultramarine together. Just or mix three primaries. You get and then try to vary. Not black. Some parts like in this area is brown. It's more reddish. I'm thinking that this is in the sun, and this is under the umbrella or under the flower. There might be a cast shadow. So this is red. If you look at details, let me hold it closer. Can you see it now? Better? The colors? Can you see the variation? This is more bluish, this is the reddish, right? Yeah, so just vary it. And some softer, because it's behind. And I can add a little bit. I can just use, you can do it brown as a base, darker brown as a base, and then you can charge it with a little blue or a little red to make it even more brown, reddish or bluish.
And then somebody was curious if you did this as a Chinese painting on rice paper, if the washes would be as effective.
I think.
And which type of rice paper?
Yeah, the paper I always use is the thin one, and I'll mount it on this regular watercolor or mixed media paper to finish. So after mounting, it is the same. A little bit softer. I think the artist paper is best to show the color vibrance, and that's why people like it. I think artists like it, because it shows the watercolor saturation the best. I heard many art teachers saying you should spend more money on the paper than on brush, maybe. They are all important, but paper is very important in Western watercolor painting. They don't like the cheap papers. Most of the artists don't like. But I do use very thin ones because I think the lightweight ones dry faster, especially when you paint quick outside. You don't want to wait for too long. So So watercolor, I mean, the rice paper is very thin and dry very fast. That's the advantage of that. If you want to wait it dry between each layer, it takes a long time. I didn't really wait. I just managed my time, just do it like a dry on damp with dry brush, a thirsty brush to control the bleeding. Some very wet into wet to see the flowering here. That's wet into wet. Okay, and I try to blend the color on the papers to have yellow, blue, and red. 3 primers to interplay, not to mix on the palette. I don't have much mixing on the palette. You see, I just mix it on the paper. Good question. Yeah. So let me try if we can do another demo with the rice paper, just to. This is basically is done. All I need to do is to sign it later, maybe. Okay. So I have the. There's a piece of paper here I didn't use. Okay, this paper I have is already. I think we mounted with a silicone paper on back already, so it's rice paper, mulberry paper. I can paint on this just to see how it works, and you can use the resist. You remember? I think I don't have it here, so we can just do positive painting first. So this time I just use water, no opaque color. Just do a Lotus, like the regular watercolor. I mean Chinese brush painting. You can use water to dilute it. Let me put on a piece of.
Henry, somebody would also like to know, would you use the Marie color set to paint on Western watercolor paper, and why?
No, because the Marie's color is opaque. It's very easy to get muddy or chalky on that, and it's too strong. The particle is too rough, maybe not as flow as the Western watercolor paper. So you'll be disappointed, but I do use them myself to paint the Chinese style, like the Xinhuaziri style. That's I have a workshop coming up on after the Earth Day. I think we scheduled. It will be April 23. Yeah, we will do some demo with that maybe. I think the reason, maybe you can use a combination of both, because some colors like the opaque green, you don't have it in Western color, so I will use Marie's. But for Azure Crimson, even the Chinese artists, they use Western watercolor for that, because for painting roses, they use crimson or rose madder instead of rouge or carmine. It's much nicer. I can use this color. Marie's color also have rose, but this iridescent color, like opera, is very striking, very different. There's some new color. Marie also have new colors, more westernized. Maybe you can use those. I will explore more maybe with Marie's on watercolor paper. It's less expensive. Maybe that's the reason you should worth trying. The disadvantage of that is the color tends to dry in the tube, and there's no way you can get it back, recondition it. So to prevent that, to prolong the shelf time, you need to put the colors in a plastic sealed zipper bag. So that way the color will not dry. And you, even better, you put a piece of paper towel, wet paper towel in it. It will not only keep it from drying, but also make it resituate the dried paints. So that's a quick tip for you. So just put all the Maurice colors in a plastic bag and put a wet towel in it. See what happens.
Henry, it's 3 o'clock. We have 30 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to finish this painting within that time. Okay. So another medium size. So don't be afraid to combine shapes or different flowers into a group. Okay. You can do those dots. I'll do it later. Okay. Now I have to negative paint those leaves. I think this color brand is very suitable for painting on the rice paper, because it's very vibrant on regular paper, so it's kind of muted. With rice paper, it's not so reflective. Maybe the surface is rough, so it tends to mute the colors a little bit. And I use a combination method, using a little yellow and a little turquoise or viridian, whatever, opaque. Okay, so I kind of roll the brush a little bit. I can stamp a little bit just to get different shapes. You can. This part is dark. Wet and wet is impossible here. You better wait. And you can still you can cut in the shape when it's dry, but not now. Okay, we'll just do the whole thing with one wash with the green and yellow. Then we'll do the other. Opaque. I mean, all transparent colors right now. Watercolor, regular watercolor is very transparent. Maurice color is semi-transparent. Also, the Japanese traditional color blocks, they're more opaque than Maurice even. Okay, some golden yellow in the middle. Negative painting the shape of the top of those petals. Okay, then a little bit verticals. You can use the side of this chisel, the brush chisel side, to do the stems, and it creates very interesting lines. Not so regular, like just twist the brush like this handle is very easy to manipulate. than the flat one, the Heki brush, traditional flat brush. This actually is made by Holbein, inspired by the Holbein brush. They produce this for watercolor painters, and we improved it in China. Some orange sky there, as we did on the previous version. I'll just put some red. Oh, I think I'm going to skip that tiger. I don't have room for that. We still have the color. All right, so let's mount it. Okay. But maybe you're going to have to west the silicone. I already have the silicone on the back of that piece, but here I have another silicone, so I have to use double silicone. That's okay, I think. Oh, why to mount it? Because I need to dry it anyway. So why don't we just do it at the same time? You can just let it dry before you can add the darks. So I'm going to iron this. Should have some padding here. Okay, incidentally, if you use silicone paper to mount your regular painting on rice paper, make sure the back side, the backing paper, I mean the release paper, do not get wet, or the pads is free from moisture. Okay, you can see it wrinkles. It's supposed to be dry mount. You can put a little moisture in the painting to relax it, to make it easier to flat the painting. But make sure the water does not touch the back of the back of the pad. Okay, now you can see it's almost dry. Let me just put another piece. You need to be careful if the top paper is dirty. You need to change that. So this is dry mounting. You can create a soft shikishi board, artboard board with rice paper yourself. You basically you can pre-mount it and still be able to paint it, so you will not wrinkle or wobbly when you paint, when you do the washes. Okay, so this is almost dry. So I can paint more. Now we can add a little. You can see the color still bleeds, right? Because the silicone does not change the absorbency, but it does block, so it will not go through to the underneath pad, it will stay on the surface. So you need to be careful. It's still unforgiving. Like this, you cannot. If you want to reduce the stroke, you can wet it with clean water. You can spray with water first, and then you can do soft washes. Okay. Oops. So if it starts peeling, you need to stop. Still, because the paper could peel. Okay. Start peeling. Too much water. You need to dry it. Just wait. Oh, that's a dirty color. Let me just try it so I can do the stems. In this design, we don't do the leaves, the umbrella shaped large leaves. If you do that, you need larger paper, everything larger. Okay, we can create a dark by, this is a neutral tint, I think, neutral and some brown. Okay, you can have some cerulean blue, I think, and some brown. Don't have to mix too even, so some part could be more brown, some more blue. Remember, we have this lean. Oh, this is more like the calligraphy, right? So that I purposely try to do the dry brush so you get the texture. Well, that's parallel. But, since I have that stroke from the leaf, why don't we just do that like that? So you go with the mistakes sometimes. I want to make a crossing or just a straight to correct that. Okay, it could be a Lotus pot, right? Okay. And it's too brown to me, so you just do it goes behind the leaf and then kind of behind the pot, so it created depths by overlapping. You can have some in this hole to create some more depths. And you can have a little branch there. And bring that down a little bit. Okay, this yellow should be in the front, maybe. Okay, whatever. Okay, finally you can add the details with a smaller brush. The linear details. This is, let me turn off the. I don't need that. Okay, I use a small detail brush to add those linear pattern on the petals. decoratively. We do this in more elaborated style, or gombi, or the westernized version of gombi is called the chinoiserie. From French word chinois, chinoiserie is a kind of decorative wall art or interior style developed by European artists in France and UK in the 17th and 18th century, and they become decorative architecture part in the high end, like mansions or house, but not entered normal people's home. And I try to teach a class in the future with the Brooklyn Library on this hybrid style, the gombi and the chinoiserie. If you're interested in it, keep you informed. We have that, and there is certainly we'll do a testing on the 23rd of April, next month. Yeah. A short workshop to celebrate the Earth Day. We'll have an introduction maybe on that. If you're interested, you can sign up for the main course later in the summer. Maybe spring, right? May and June. Okay. And you don't need, yeah, we still have to do this part if we want. So just the tip maybe. I'm more concerned with the wholeness of the flower, the shape of the flower here. I divide the original stroke into 3, just like that big petal is too big, so I now separate, redefine it. So this is the opportunity you redefine the forms. You can add another petal here. I see a little white there, so you can take advantage of some negative shape there. And there's some more petals on the far side of this flower. You can do it this way. Okay, we have 15 minutes almost. Okay. I'll just add another layer here in the front, maybe. We try to reduce the details compared to the front. You can do less and less, right? Okay, add a little.
Henry, somebody's saying you didn't put the dots on the stems in either painting.
That's for that detail is for flower and birds. I use dry brush. You can do a few, just don't fuss with that, because this is considered watercolor painting. We don't really like those decorative dots. It's stylized, it's very stylized details. You can do that. Yeah, I think I did a few. Maybe just suggest the texture of the surface texture of this, the characteristic of this flower. You can do it very little, just minimum, I will say. Yeah, you can dry brush already create that kind of sense. You can add a little bit just in the front, maybe not. I added a little bit here, there. for on the main flower only, not. So let's see. I just outline. I drop all the details. I just do maybe a dot on the tip. That's it. That's it. Okay. And maybe that's it. So I let it disappear. So this is linear perspective. Linear, right? I have difficulty to distinguish the L and the N sound. Linear perspective. Okay. And a little bit detail maybe on the. We try to do. This is fusion, so not following either side. You create your own based on your maybe the best of both watercolor and traditional brush painting. So just add a little. And remember, we have some green too. Let me just add a little, blend a little yellow and. Okay, we just make that big part in the middle. I just blend into that. We don't want to really too much shape. I just want to have a suggestion of the elements in the color. Okay, and I need to fill in that white if you want to indicate a little. We can use that brown, just bring that sky color reflective in the water a little bit. So I just do the whole thing maybe like that to harmonize it. You can add a little sky color there. I think that's about it. So that's my second version. You can splatter a little bit green color to suggest the duckweeds or something. Oops, that's a little bit out of control. So just some dots, some floating small vegetation plant called the duckweed. In Chinese, that's 平, 浮萍. So 和 Lotus and 平 meaning 和平 meaning peace. It's another symbolism I invented. Peace. 和 and 平. 浮萍. This is a floating duckweeds. Just
Henry, someone is asking if you can show the first painting again.
Oh, sure. I will put side by side so you can see the effect on both. Oops. Let me finish this quickly. I just need a little bit depth here. So it looks like only yellow. I need to put a little brown, little red, little blue on this. Okay, that's it. And we can dry it. Because if you don't dry it, the color does not look right. It's the color will fade a little bit. Sometimes enhance. But with this really pre-mounted or not pre-mounted, in the middle, we mount it in the middle, right? It's better for the artist to see the true color. Otherwise, you have to guess based on your experience what it will look like after mounting. So we got actually 3 versions. I'm going to show you side by side. Okay, this is let me just I can only do it one at a time. So this is the watercolor. Okay, watercolor. Let me sign this. I forgot about that. I'll sign later. Just an English signature if I do this on this one. Okay, this is the first demo we did. Tell me which one you like. Oh, sorry, this is on Arches paper. Okay, Arches paper. And this one is on Mulberry paper 2B. If you buy from Amazon, we have it on Amazon. It's called the Dragon Claws paper, 10 sheets in a pack. It's a Mulberry 2B. Mulberry number 2 has more string fiber, like veins in it. You can see that's different from number 1. We call it number 1. That one has less stringy fiber in it. This is my favorite paper because it's textured and very. It has the right absorbency. It does not bleed as the Schuan paper, and very strong, very sturdy. And you can put on regular paper. Like this is a 90-pound or 135 GSM or something. Mixed media paper. The Canson mixed media paper as backing. Because it's wet, I can make it flat by ironing.
Someone's asking if you could repeat the Amazon brand.
The Amazon brand is, I think it's just the Blue Heron Arts brand. You just search Mulberry paper 2B. Victoria, are you there? Can you send them a link in the chat? Maybe I can do this here. If you go to Amazon, let me just change this birds so you can see it. Yeah, we have the Prime listed on the Prime. So Amazon.com. Okay, and then you do a search. Okay. Number 2B. It pops right there. 10 sheets of Dragon Claws. Okay, let me show you. Yeah. You see that? 10 sheets of Dragon Claws, thin Mulberry paper 2B, 13.5 by 26. Only 23 GSM. That's very thin, okay? And you mount it on 135 GSM paper and look like this. You can still roll it. You can still roll it. You can see that. Okay, this is the. Oops, it's transparent. The greens takes out. Okay, I have to do this. Okay, you got it. I can copy this link to you. Text. And I'll just put it in the chat, right? Okay.
Somebody wants to know what colors would you use to paint the Gongbai style?
Gongbi style? Okay, the Gongbi style we use Marie's colors on sized paper. On sized paper, you can use watercolor paper. But if you use watercolor paper, you can use regular watercolor. If you do the traditional Gongbi on sized Schuan paper, you need to use Marie's color because it's supposed to be waterproof after it dries. Regular watercolor is bind with gum arabic. It will melt when you wet mount it. When you spray water, you tend to bleed. So Marie's color is waterproof after it dries. That's why we use it only on rice paper. You can still use very thin watercolor paper, watercolor color pens on rice paper, but just keep it thin. If you have a thick build up, like very dark areas, it might bleed. We have a special way to prevent it. If you tell us, oh, it's painted with a Western color, well, actually we do a test with a little water to blot it, see if we take it off. We sometimes we put a fix before wet mounting. So you can still, if you do dry mounting, that's the good news. You can use watercolor paints on rice paper if you dry mount it without a wet mount. Yeah. Okay. Any question? If not, we can open critique. I think the time is up for painting. So we did 2 demos with the same theme. The Lotus is my favorite subject matter. If you, I always turn something into Lotus leaf when something wrong. You just cover it up. That's it's just like landscape. You can always turn it into a lotus, or turn it into a rock in the case of landscape painting. So that's why. It's fun. Okay, let me see if we can. You can hand up the painting, and I'll spotlight you. Replace spotlight. Okay. Now we have Shirley. Shirley's painting signed already. Great. Yeah, I like the linear perspective. Lotus looks from near to far with perspective. Very nice. The moisture could be a little damp, to indicate the freshness of the petals next time. You got maybe too thick, maybe it even got gouache in it. Maybe it's a little dry. Oh, it's a little heavier. Did you use
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, too much.
So I know. I did a traditional Lotus.
Ah, I see. This you consider traditional, this one, or different one?
Yeah, but maybe lean on style.
Oh, I see. Like Gombe style.
Yeah.
Gombe style would be more refined, but this one I still consider as a fusion watercolor. Okay, especially in the. It's good to have.
I use Canson.
Oh, Canson paper. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see the opera color a little bit. Very nice. The white in the middle of the petal is maybe too white. You can put in the sense of lighting. You have to think about the direction of light, not just put it in the middle of the outlines. Try to, yeah. You can use fine linear details. But yeah, just try to paint the outline very thin, not too thick. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Very good, Cos. Oh, very good. Yeah. We have Shirley Lin. Shirley, you are on. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Let me replace you. I cannot see. Okay. Here is where's the I lost. Shirley, but anyway,
Sorry to interrupt.
I'll go back to you.
Henry,
yeah.
are you zooming in just participants painting on YouTube?
Oh, I need to do that. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, you coming just in time. I forgot that. Okay, now we have. Okay, then. Yeah, I didn't have that one for Shirley. Let me make it up. Put you up on spotlight again. Okay, is this one the same? No, D. Very good. Okay, that's a different person. Okay, I like the pink you got. It's a mixture of white or just water, but it's very very tender. I like that subtleness. The branches on the left is a little too thick. I don't know how to correct that, but the 3 on the right is right. Okay, try to make it thinner. I don't know how to do that, but next time maybe at least. Yeah, but otherwise it's a perfect painting. The tiger color could be a little.
I can cut it.
You can cut it. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
don't cut that much. Maybe you can cover it with leaf, as I said. Everything could be behind the leaves. You can put a green a block, just block that some stems. Yeah, with a large green leaf. Or you
If I
can.
wet it, will it become more?
Yeah, this one is okay. This is in the front. Just some of the thick branches. You can use. You can make it less prominent with dark leaves behind or in the front of that. So the leaf could be used to cover up, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have rosemary. Very nice. I like the transparency of the water. Very beautiful.
Okay.
I like the reflection. Very nice. Yeah, very good. I like the stems. In your case, I do like the dots, the texture on that, and the crossing is fine. Yeah, just a little bit dots along the skyline. In the maybe a little pure. You have the gray kind of pink, but a little bit tender. Like a whitish pink. Pink colored buds along the far leaves above the far. You can make the line a little bit up and down and more rounded shape. More like a leaf, not a wall of something. Like the green wall could be a little bit up and down, and break that line with some sticking out flowers and leaves. That would be good. Otherwise, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good control of the value and the colors saturation. Very good, nice composition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now let me go to next person. Okay, I'll just go whoever here. Request spotlight. Okay, Megan, you're on. I'll go back to Shirley later. I saw you. We missed you're on YouTube later. Okay, Megan is using the same paper as I did, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think very good. I can see that. Yeah, I like the background color and the flowers, very distinctive. And you have saved the whites for the petals well. The leaves in the front is almost into blocks and it just shades the background. A little bit standing leaves in the distance, which is nice with rhythm. Yeah, I think everything looks good to me. Very good play of the three primers. You got yellow, blue, and red or pink. The tiger looks very nice. Very good. Well done. Thank you. Okay, let me go just quickly. Just show I already critiqued your painting. Just show us the painting again. So yeah, that was the first critique we missed. It's nice. To add to this, I think the stance could be a little straight. It's not of curve like that. It could be a little straighter. I think just straight down a little bit. Yeah. Oh, you got some 300 degree view camera. It just followed you.
Sorry, I think it's my iPad. It's doing that.
Yeah, it's chasing you. Okay, interesting. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing us. We already mentioned the other part. Yeah. So let's turn to Laura. I just see whatever I can pick. Okay, I like the cool pink. You got very nice. The edge on the sky, that could be softened, but it looks like a cloud or something. Yeah, the in the middle part, there's a waterline which it could be softened with wet, but now I don't know. It can maybe make it into a mountain or sky in the clouds in the sky or something, but it looks like a cloud anyway. Other than that, I don't have any improvement suggestions. You can have a little more accenting, maybe dark details on the tip of the petals, just a little accentuate a little bit the top of the tip. That would be it. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good composition. Well done.
Thank you.
So everybody's doing very good job. Okay, let's see. Diana's paintings on the watercolor pad. Yeah, is that Canson? Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I like the contrast of inner and outer petal, different shades of pink and the reds. Yeah, I like the play of blue and yellow in the background. Very nice. Looks great. The tiger is a little bit out of proportion, the body, and it looks like a cup though. Yeah, it could be a small tiger, but because it got the tail, that it could, yeah, it looks a little like a cup, yeah. But that's cute. That's cute. I got a butterfly in front of the tiger or something like that. Yeah, yes, that's good. You can have the bud, little pink bud above those dark dots that are considered like a calyx, something. You know, just above the flower, above those dark dots in the background, you can have a little pink buds, you know, or flower shape, a little whitish pink, in addition to the dark dots you got, because they're blurred away. I think you can add them back. Other than that, I think it's a very well done piece. Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Very good. Okay, Shirley, I can go back to you. I see you have one. Okay. Shirley Lin, yeah, Shirley Lin, right. Oh, you got the stem in the middle with your signature. Well, it's very elaborated, like very realistic panels. I like that. Very Hawaiian style kind of. Remind me of the exotic places. Like, I like the swimming tiger. Doing the frog style, maybe frog's swing style. That's nice. I like the pink, the color the Lotus. Very nice. You got the very good realistic stem also, like rounded, very Western, but very good composition.
Can I show you my other Lotus?
Yeah.
I did while you were doing your second one.
Sure. Oh, you got the traditional one too. So you're good at both on this side, yeah. Mirrored. Wow, that's nice. Yeah,
It takes about 3 minutes to do this.
I know.
It takes 2 hours to do yours.
Oh, you already did it before the class, right? Yeah, this is Jana Chen kind of style, right? Very good 3 minutes painting. I like it. Yeah. Thank you for showing us the traditional brush painting. Okay, any other person here? Let me go to the next page. Nobody there. Okay, go back first. Okay, I see some Megal. Right. Okay. Yeah. Lighting is a little bit dim. You can go back. Yeah, you got it. Just step back a little bit. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like the blue, yellow, and the red colors. Blue water, kind of green, and the bronze leaves, and the red. Okay, the only thing, the petals could be a little gradated, so that the pink does not stand out. You know, yeah, maybe the shape of the pink somehow it's a little bit bold, but it's like stylized. I kind of yeah, I think if it's considered personal style, it's okay. It's okay. So just next time, you know, you can maybe make the dark not just on the side. Maybe sometimes it indicates the outside of the petal. Yeah, outside the petal, inside the petal. Now you have the left side is dark. It's like a shadow of something. Yeah, that's okay. It's very decorative. I think it's a decorative painting. I think I like it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. We have Charlene. Charlene, okay. Your Chinese painting on rice paper. Okay. You're muted. Let me ask you unmute. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, now you can speak. Any feedback?
And I did it on really that off-white paper. It wasn't white.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it looks white too. Anyway, because we don't need the white paper, because it will show white gouache better. The emphasis, I mean, the dots on the stem just too much, I think.
But too much, but they ran.
I know, but you could yeah, just be careful with that, because it tends to you know, call too much attention on that. So you want to make the stems more obscure, you know, less prominent. Just keep it thin to begin with. Dry brush, just add a few, not too much dots like this. It make it too heavy. Yeah. Other than that, it will be good. But we cannot really save this from the mistake. The heavy dotted lines just yeah, look like something else.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Henry, we are at, it's 3:46. So
Yeah, I think that's all for this lesson. We don't want to keep it too long. So see you next week, and happy painting. And keep watching our hatching online, so to witness the miracle of nature. Okay. Thank you for following our lessons, and let me see. Oh yeah, I have to end the streaming now. Thanks everybody for watching on YouTube.